When Alaskan Bush People first premiered, the Browns were presented as the ultimate wilderness family, resilient, united, and untouched by the outside world. But as the years went on, the reality behind that image began to unravel. Siblings distanced themselves, relationships collapsed, and hidden struggles slowly surfaced in ways no one expected. From medical emergencies to explosive accusations, sudden disappearances, and heartbreaking family divides, each Brown walked into their own battle, some in silence, some in front of millions. Fans watched the show for adventure. What they didn't see was the chaos unfolding off-screen, shaping the family's future forever. Today, the biggest question remains: what really became of the Browns once the cameras stopped capturing their world? Matt Brown. Matt Brown's story is one of the most complicated and heartbreaking chapters connected to Alaskan Bush people. As the eldest son of Ami and Billy Brown, many viewers assumed he lived an easy life thanks to the family's reality TV success. But behind the scenes, Matt faced a series of personal battles, legal troubles, and fractured relationships that shaped a very different reality. His struggles first made headlines in 2013, months before the show even aired. Early one August morning in Juneau, Matt was arrested for DUI after reportedly hitting a parked motorcycle in a Walmart parking lot. According to police, he smelled strongly of alcohol, acted erratically, and blew nearly twice the legal limit before getting sick during the breathalyzer test. He later served 3 days in jail and 18 months of probation, a rocky start to what would become a public-facing life. Things worsened after the family relocated from the wilderness to Juneau in 2016. Matt began heavily with locals, which created a deep rift between him and his father. The tension reportedly escalated into a physical confrontation, and Billy warned that Matt's future on the show depended on him getting help. Even after Matt entered rehab, sources claimed Billy didn't follow through on promises to keep him employed, leaving Matt feeling betrayed and further isolated. By 2017, his personal chaos took an even more dangerous turn when a jar of gunpowder he'd stored in his refrigerator exploded, seriously injuring him and sending him to intensive care. He later explained it was meant to be bear protection, but admitted he'd taken things too far. Matt re-entered rehab in early 2019, checking into the Betty Ford Center. At first, his family appeared supportive, but their relationship quickly deteriorated. Though Matt hoped to return to the show, he remained estranged and ultimately never rejoined the cast. Instead, he rebuilt his life on his own terms, launching a YouTube channel and opening up about long-held insecurities, including fixing his teeth after years of avoiding dental work. Then, in 2020, Matt faced his most serious crisis yet, when two women, his former assistant and former manager, accused him of sexual assault during a period of heavy drinking in 2018. Police investigated, but the district attorney declined to prosecute. The accusations, combined with messages showing his brothers apologizing to one alleged victim, widened the distance between Matt and his family even further. In the years that followed, Matt publicly accused his late father of keeping the family's earnings and misrepresenting their lifestyle on TV. His siblings, especially Bear Brown, denied those claims and condemned Matt's statements. As it stands, Matt remains estranged from his mother and siblings, carrying a story marked by turmoil, recovery, conflict, and the uncertain hope of redemption. Rain Brown. Viewers first knew Rain Brown as the sweet, wilderness-raised little sister who stuck close to Snowbird, caring for animals and playing with dolls. As she got older, she pushed for independence and even built her own home on the family property. But behind the scenes, Rain's journey became far more complicated and far more human. In 2017, she opened up publicly for the first time about her struggles with depression. She described days spent unable to get out of bed and unexplained pains that left her feeling empty. But she finished her message with strength, encouraging fans to listen to their bodies and not let dark feelings define them. That hopeful spirit showed again in 2018 when she lost her beloved cat, Chipmunk. She shared her grief, but also comfort in having been able to say goodbye. Years later, things took a much heavier turn. In August 2024, Noah Brown and his wife filed a restraining order against Rain, accusing her of harassment and substance use. Noah recounted tense incidents, from a frightening elevator argument during filming to heated exchanges involving the family's horses. Despite the seriousness of the claims, the temporary restraining order was denied without a hearing because the court said the petition lacked detail and relied on outdated incidents. Shortly after, Rain appeared on Instagram reflecting on the pressure she felt to appear perfect. She pushed back, telling followers she was done pretending and challenging anyone questioning her growth. Then, in April 2025, Rain faced legal trouble of her own. She and Josiah Lorton were charged with burglary, trespassing, and property damage after Josiah's uncle reported valuables missing from his rental home. According to the investigation, items ranging from cash and gold coins to firearms and wine were gone, with neighbors allegedly providing video evidence of Rain and Josiah at the scene. Both pleaded not guilty, and Rain claimed her former manager, whom she accused of stealing from and mistreating her, was responsible for the accusations that led to her arrest. Even amid the turmoil, Rain kept speaking directly to her supporters, leaning on faith and insisting on her innocence. She and Josiah had only been married 3 months at the time of their arrests, after meeting while working together at a restaurant. Alongside the chaos, she continued writing inspirational posts and staying active on TikTok and Cameo, trying to steady her life while the legal process moved forward. Ami Brown. Ami Brown has always been the heart of the Brown family, the calm voice, the gentle gardener, and the person everyone turns to when life in the wild gets overwhelming. But behind that peaceful presence is a story filled with resilience, heartbreak, and strength that goes far beyond what viewers see on screen. Her biggest battle began in 2017, when she was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. It forced the Browns to make a life-changing decision, leaving Alaska, the place they'd built their identity around. They relocated to a 435-acre property in Washington, so Ami could be close to her doctors at UCLA. Billy described the move as earth-shattering, but he held tight to one belief: the family would face it together. Ami, meanwhile, chose to keep filming through her treatment, hoping that sharing her journey would ease the fear for others facing the same fight. Despite being given incredibly low odds, she pushed through chemotherapy and radiation and was declared cancer-free the next year. But just as she began to heal, a wave of hurtful accusations hit the family. Online skeptics claimed her diagnosis was faked for television drama. The rumors grew so loud her doctor publicly confirmed her medical records, emphasizing the seriousness of her illness. It was a painful moment for someone who had already fought so hard just to stay alive. Life dealt another emotional blow in 2018 when Amy's mother passed away. The loss was especially heavy because they hadn't been on speaking terms. Family tensions stretched back decades, with Amy's brother blaming the estrangement on Billy's influence when Amy married him at only 15. Whether true or not, the distance between mother and daughter left wounds that could never fully heal. Then came another tragedy in 2020. Amy's niece Amber died after suffering severe burns. Amber's father, Amy's brother Les, revealed heartbreaking details about the incident and the struggles Amber faced in the years leading up to it. The event shook the family deeply. More recently, Ami has faced new health scares away from the cameras. She was hospitalized for pneumonia in 2024, and again in early 2025, with the second episode serious enough to require an airlift and ICU care. Thankfully, she recovered and spent time healing with Bear's family before returning to her own home. Despite ongoing lung challenges from her cancer battle, she's doing well today and continues updating fans through her social media. Snowbird Brown. Snowbird Brown, known simply as Birdie to fans, has always been the quiet force within the Brown family. While her siblings often bring the noise and energy, Bird moves through the world with a calm, steady toughness that her father recognized early on. Her brothers once imagined they'd be the ones looking out for her, but it quickly became clear Bird didn't need protecting. She could hold her own, whether hiking into the mountains to watch deer or heading out alone to hunt and fish. But in 2022, her strength was tested in a way no wilderness challenge ever could. Just as she was preparing for a trip to Alaska, Bird began experiencing severe abdominal pain. It became so overwhelming that she ended up on the floor, and doctors soon uncovered the frightening cause: a massive cystic tumor filling her abdomen, and another hard growth pressing against her bladder, both originating from her ovaries. With cancer a real concern, she was rushed into surgery almost immediately. Because of COVID protocols, the cameras couldn't follow her into the hospital, but her mother Amy and sister Rain stayed by her side. The surgery revealed the staggering weight of what she'd been carrying, one tumor weighing 8 pounds and another 4. Miraculously, surgeons were able to save her uterus and ovaries, preserving her ability to have children someday. Even better, tests confirmed she didn't have cancer. The relief, though, came with a difficult reality. She still faced more than a 50% chance of the tumors or cancer returning, unless she chose to undergo a full hysterectomy. Support poured in from viewers across social media after Discovery shared a photo of Bird recovering in her hospital bed. Fans, some with their own experiences facing tumors or cancer scares, rallied around her with encouragement and prayers. After the surgery, Bird committed to regular monitoring. She returned for blood work, biopsies, and scans throughout 2023 and 2024. Though doctors found fluid in her scar tissue and later detected something they couldn't immediately identify, the good news continued. The tumors hadn't come back. Specialists are still watching her closely, and she has major follow-up appointments lined up in Seattle. Through it all, Bird has kept a low profile, but she surprised fans with a new announcement. She plans to launch her own YouTube channel in 2025, taking her time to learn filming and editing while already preparing her first videos. It's a new chapter for someone who survived a terrifying ordeal with quiet courage, and who may soon share even more of her world in her own voice. Bam Bam Brown. Before the world knew the Brown family from Alaskan bush people, Joshua Bam Bam Brown was already carving out his own little corner of the internet. Long before Discovery cameras followed the family across the wilderness, Bam was documenting life in Alaska on his YouTube channel, Alaska Bam Bam. He posted videos of nature, his sisters, and even a road trip montage that revealed something fans might not expect today: a lean six-pack and short, bright blonde hair. It was a far cry from the darker, long-haired look viewers now associate with him, showing just how much he transformed before the show took off. By the time the series hit television, Bam was deeply involved in the family's off-the-grid life. But everything shifted in 2016 when he fell in love with one of the show's producers, Alaskan. Choosing to follow his heart, he left the homestead and stepped away from filming. Adjusting to city life wasn't easy. He once joked that even walking down a sidewalk felt like an adventure, but he hoped to blend his new life with his roots and eventually bring Alaskan back to Alaska. Before doing that, the two embarked on an unexpected project, renovating an old ferry Alaskan found just before it was scrapped. They began rebuilding it into a livable space, turning it into their own floating fixer-upper. Bam returned to the show in 2019, drawn back home when his mother, Amy Brown, was diagnosed with lung cancer. Family for him always came first. But in 2022, he faced something no wilderness challenge could prepare him for. While driving in Washington, his pickup truck was struck head-on by a Chevrolet Camaro that had swerved into his lane. Bam tried to avoid the collision, veering off the road, but the impact was devastating. He suffered minor injuries, but tragically, both women in the other vehicle later died from their injuries. Officials confirmed that Bam was completely blameless. The Camaro had simply lost control, but the emotional weight of the accident was something he has never publicly discussed. These days, Bam Bam lives in Washington like many of his siblings. His social media presence is sparse, though he maintains an Instagram, Cameo, TikTok, and even a family website he reportedly built and manages. While he keeps his private life quiet, his journey, from early YouTube vlogger to reality show figure, from quiet adventurer to someone who has weathered real tragedy, remains one of the most compelling behind-the-scenes stories in the Brown family saga. Noah Brown. Noah Brown has always stood out among the Brown siblings for his fascination with gadgets, inventions, and anything he could tinker with. Viewers watched him build homemade devices around Browntown, show off his love of reading, practice magic tricks, and even hunt with a bow. But when it came to romance, his early attempts were far less smooth. Longtime fans still remember the painfully awkward moment he sang a song about an ex-girlfriend on a first date. Things changed when he met Rain Alicia while the family still lived in Alaska. Noah wrote her love letters and convinced her to visit Browntown. and by 2018 they were married in a small ceremony with just a couple dozen guests. Their relationship, however, sparked immediate tensions within the family. His sisters, Bird and Rain, were especially wary of Rain, so much so that Rain believed Rain had taken her name, not knowing she had used it since childhood. Despite rumors that the Browns wouldn't allow Rain to take the family name, Noah dismissed the claims and insisted she was his partner for life. In 2019, after welcoming their first child, Eli, Noah, and Rain moved to Trinidad, Colorado. Fans were surprised by the move, and rumors swirled that Noah felt smothered by his family and that Rain clashed with Snowbird. Ironically, Billy Brown had reportedly bought the couple their Colorado home. Still, Noah occasionally showed signs of harmony with his siblings, like posting a photo in a World's Okayest Brother t-shirt gifted by Rain. Noah also became the center of one of the show's most debated storylines, a Season 5 date with a woman named Karina. Fans questioned whether the entire encounter was staged, especially after learning she had acting credits and appeared uncomfortable throughout the episode. While no solid proof ever confirmed producer involvement, the speculation persisted. Then, in early 2025, Noah and Rain announced they were separating after 6 years of marriage. He revealed he had been asked to move out and was living in their guest cabin, though he still visited their sons with advance notice. Both insisted they were handling the breakup respectfully, but the strain was clear. Soon after, Noah raised concerns about Ami referring to Rain's new husband as the next Messiah, and weeks later Rain and her husband Josiah Lorton were arrested on burglary and trespassing charges. Court documents revealed that just days earlier, Noah had requested a welfare check on Amy and Rain, reporting erratic behavior, substance use, and concerns about Josiah possessing firearms. It marked one of the most dramatic turns yet in Noah's story, an ongoing intersection of family loyalty, personal upheaval, and the unpredictable pressures of life in the public eye. Bear Brown. Ever since the Brown family lost their patriarch, Billy Brown, in 2021, one person has quietly but consistently stepped into a new role: Solomon Bear Brown. In many ways, he's become the family's public voice. Whenever something major happens, good news, unexpected setbacks, or anything in between, Bear is usually the first one to jump online and clear things up. His Instagram has basically turned into the place where fans go to get the real story. But his page isn't all official updates. If you scroll through his feed, you'll see just how tightly connected he is to his family. He's constantly posting moments with his siblings when they stop by, snapshots of his wife, Raven, and plenty of sweet clips of their kids. Every now and then, he'll take followers behind the scenes, showing off little projects he's tackling near the family cabin, or giving a glimpse of whatever he's got going on at the moment. Bear also happens to be the Brown sibling most plugged into influencer culture. He's leaned all the way in. He's one of the few family members with a Cameo account. He maintains a presence on Temu, and he even runs his own YouTube channel where he shares more personal content. At home, Bear and Raven are raising 3 sons: River, Coves, and Everest. But their relationship hasn't always been easy. Over the years, they've gone through several breakups and reconciliations. One of their toughest moments came in March 2022, when Bear was charged with domestic violence after being accused of shoving Raven during an argument. Gabe Brown. Gabe Brown is happily married to his wife, Raquel, and the two have now spent 6 years building a life together. Their story is a sweet one, too. They didn't just get married once, they celebrated twice. Their official ceremony took place in January 2019, with Gabe's brother Noah stepping in as the ordained officiant. Then, a few months later in June, the Browns threw a much bigger celebration, a full-blown remarriage party filled with family, laughter, and even cameras from People magazine capturing the moment. Even though Gabe and Raquel tend to live life on the private side, fans do know they're now parents to 4 daughters. Only one of their little ones, Sophie, has been publicly named, and she actually made a tiny appearance on Alaskan Bush People as a baby. Raquel stepped back from the series in 2022, which sparked a lot of curiosity about where she'd gone. But from everything visible now, the family seems to be doing well and staying solid. On the personal side, Gabe has also carved out a creative lane for himself. He has a real love for music and isn't shy about sharing it. TikTok is where he shines the most, dropping singing clips for fans. And he also stays active on his Cameo pages for those who want a more personal moment. But like anyone, Gabe's had his tougher moments too. In November 2024, he went through hand surgery, a setback that could slow anyone down. Thankfully, he didn't have to face it alone. His brother Noah stepped in once again, making sure Gabe got home safely and had the support he needed during recovery. Moments like that really show how tightly knit the Brown family remains.